Hello and welcome to the Top 10 Business Ideas video series. So I put this video series together because I know in talking with different people that a lot of people do want to start something on their own. They're interested in that entrepreneur lifestyle. They're interested in opening up their own business, but they have no idea where to start. Or perhaps they have a lot of ideas, but they don't know what would be the best for them, what is worth investing a lot of time and money into. So in this 10-part series, I'm going to go over 10 broad business categories and then specific examples to give you some ideas of what that business might look like. In addition to the examples, I'm going to go over a list of pros and then a list of cons. So whenever I'm going through these, think of what would apply to you, what your values are, what your end goal is, what you really want to do when opening up your own business. So I hope that you find this helpful. I hope that it gives you some clarity, and please feel free to reach out. I'll put all my contact info below. And if you like the video, like and subscribe. And I hope that you are able to find your next amazing business idea. All right, enjoy. Welcome back. This is video 7 of our 10-part business startup idea video series. And in this video, we're going to be talking all about how to start a service-based business, what it is, and the pros and cons. So if this is something that you might potentially be interested in, let's get started. So what is a service-based business? This is a business in which you provide a service in exchange for payment. This can be business to business, so B2B, or business to customer, B2C. And all this means is how you plan to offer your services. So do you plan to offer your services directly to customers or to other businesses? Now, whenever you are considering a service-based business, consider the following and ask yourself these following questions, and that's going to help you become more clear on how you might go about running your business and start to think of it if it is a good business to start. So is there a need for this, and are people willing to pay for it? This will often be determined by your location. So for example, opening a surf school in Ohio likely will not be as lucrative as opening one in Florida. So just considerations like that. That's a very obvious one. Many are not as obvious, but it's definitely something you want to think about. Is this evergreen or temporary? So think of businesses you saw when you were a kid that slowly went extinct as times changed. As our environment and situation changes, so do our needs. If you can find a service that there's always a need for, or if you can find a service that can be flexible and change with the times, then you're set for lifelong success. So this is evergreen means something that is going to stand the test of time. Temporary is something that's temporary. Also ask yourself, is this a one-time need, or is this a frequent need that your service is going to be helping with? If you provide a service that people will need only once, for example, a new mommy class, you will constantly need to acquire new customers. But if you provide a service that people will need again and again, for example, a mechanic, then you can rely on loyal customers to keep your business running. So one thing to keep in mind is that service-based businesses are mainly active, and that's because your time is needed. So if this is the first video that you're watching of this series, I have gone over active and passive business models. Active business model is the more traditional one in that you're exchanging your time for money. If you don't spend time with that customer, you don't get money. Where a passive income, which doesn't really pertain to this kind of business, but a passive income, so is that you can set up structures that you are not directly exchanging your time for money. But this one, it's going to be a time commitment because you're providing a service. There is a potential for it to be more passive if you hire employees that are going to be doing the service for you. So you are not going to be the one who's directly doing the service. However, you're still spending your time most likely managing employees or dealing with customers and all that kind of different stuff. So you're probably going to have to be present. Maybe you'll be present at the main office and not out where your service locations are, but you're still going to have to be there exchanging your time to make sure the business runs smoothly. There are a lot of examples of service-based businesses, and I just mentioned a few here, but I'm sure if you're thinking of one, then you already have a lot of ideas in your head. Some examples could be car services, car repair, car washes, detailing, all that kind of stuff. Homeowner services, house cleaning, lawn care and maintenance, any sort of plumbing or electrician, all of that. Childcare, so daycare, nanny, school tutor, babysitting. Also pet care, pet sitting, dog walking, dog grooming, doggy daycare, personal grooming, so a hairdresser, a makeup artist, you run a spa, you're an esthetician, and also professional services like accountants and lawyers. So anytime that you are providing a service for somebody else, this is a service-based business. All right, so now you have some questions to ask yourself, have some examples. Let's move right into the pros. So the number one pro of starting a service-based business is that you're able to turn your skills or trade into a profitable business. There are a lot of business success stories of people who began by providing their services to friends and family for free and turned it into a business. So for example, I know a violinist who started playing at events, or mainly weddings, as a favor for friends or family, and then she realized, okay, this is nice, but it's taking up, every single Saturday between April and August. And so maybe I should start charging for it. So she developed a website and now she gets paid to do it. And she's turned it into a very lucrative business, both through word of mouth because she started doing it for free. And so she had all these people giving her testimonials, and then also with local advertising and her website. So that is definitely a pro. Don't think that you have to just do things for free. You can definitely turn it into a business. A second pro is that you can start small and scale. So you can start a service-based business part-time. You can always start with friends and family, like I mentioned before. You get their testimonials, you get them to recommend you to friends and family, and then you use this to slowly build your business. So party and event planners often start this way. You can do it part-time on weekends, start planning some of your friends' kids' birthday parties. You take pictures, you post it on social media, people love it, they begin to contact you, and then you slowly start to build your business. You can often make your own schedule, but you still have to meet the needs of the client. So you have to remember that. And this is, again, why you can start part-time, or if you choose to do it full-time, you have more freedom over your schedule. You likely will not have to work a 9-to-5 schedule, and you can let your clients know what hours you are available. And this will vary depending on your field. For example, a wedding planner will be required to work mostly weekends. A personal trainer will likely work around a client's work schedule, meaning early mornings and evenings. And somebody who's a tutor will have to work whenever the children get out of school. So it's not complete freedom, but it's more freedom than sitting in an office for 8 hours. A fourth pro is that you can train others to work for you. So once you develop a standard practice for your services, you can hire others to perform the work and take a portion of their earnings. And then you become more of a managing role. So for example, a dog walker starts by walking dogs for money. She builds her business and she is a one-man show. Now she does this until she gets too many clients. And then she hires fellow walkers who work under her, and maybe they receive half of the total profits, and then she gets another half. And she's not even doing that work anymore. She is just managing and collecting the profits. So that is a definite perk. And the fifth pro is if it is a service that people use often, you can rely on repeat customers for a lot of business and cut down on marketing. So this can make running a business much easier after the initial client acquisition. All you need to do to keep clients is provide quality services and meet their needs at a cost they're willing to pay for. Also, these loyal customers can recommend your services to provide free advertising and build a business. So if you are a girl or possibly even a guy, you might have one hairdresser that you go to because you love them and you don't go to anybody else. If you're building a service-based business, you want to be that person. Or you might have one person that you go to for all your car repair needs. You want to be that person because then after a while, you don't have to work to get new customers. They just come to you. And with pros, there's always cons. So we'll go over the main 3 cons that you might have to face and definitely consider before starting a service-based business. So the first potential con is that it is mostly active and you are exchanging your time for money. And so you need to think about this when you are thinking about how much you are pricing your services. And depending on your field, it may be harder to take vacations during certain times, to work from anywhere, and to work limited hours. So you might want to open up your own business because you want more freedom and you want to work less, but depending on the field that you open up this service-based business, you might not get that luxury. And people will not pay for your services if you are unavailable to work at a time they need your services. So if people come to you and you're constantly saying, oh, I can't work this day or can't work that day or during these times, then they're just going to go and find somebody else. So you definitely need to consider that. And, just keep that in mind whenever you're planning it. The second con is that you need to carefully pick a business model to make sure that you are able to have repeat customers. So for example, if your business provides services for first-time mothers, you will only get customers once because mommies are only first-time mothers once. So think of ways that you can have these women come back. Can you add other services to meet ongoing needs for these customers? So maybe they're first-time mommies, but then you can also offer services to help adjust the family and adjust their one child to having a brother or sister. Or maybe you can have services for dealing with a terrible tooth or, whatever that might be that's along similar lines in which you're helping the same demographic, but they're going to come back to you because they loved your services so much the first time, they're going to come back any other service that you offer. And then the final con to consider is that you may have to deal with invoices. So you provide the service and you likely bill customers. Not all service-based businesses, but many. And this means that you may not receive payment for weeks or even months after the initial service. And this can cause a problem when you are trying to pay employees, when you're trying to pay overhead costs, all those kind of monthly payments that you need. If you are waiting to get paid from your customers, you're going to need to make sure that you have that money to be able to cover all those costs in the meantime. And this brings us to the end of our 7th video in our 10-part business startup video series. And just to conclude everything, to wrap everything up, a service-based business is a business in which you provide service in exchange for payment. And there's tons of different examples. Some of the main pros are that you can start small and you can grow, that you can capitalize on your skills, and that you can eventually train and manage others so that you're not doing the work anymore and you're still getting a portion of the sales. Some cons are the time commitment and having to schedule your business around a time that meets your clients' needs. You have to figure out how to retain customers, so you need to plan what services you're going to offer so that you can have repeat customers and a lot of people paying for your services, and also the potential of having to deal with invoices, which can cause some problems whenever you're trying to balance your finances. All right, that is it. I hope that you learned a lot about service-based businesses. This has been video 7 in our 10-part series. The next video is going to be all about information-based businesses. If you are potentially interested in service-based businesses, I highly recommend that you also watch the information-based business, because you can potentially add this component to your service-based business. Or if you want more freedom in your schedule, you can even do this instead of having a service-based business. It depends what your model is, but I highly recommend that you watch video 8. And I hope that you have a great day. I'll see you next time. Bye. Thank you for watching, and if you would like more information, please go to www.mymbse, that's mymbse.com. And if you would like to receive your free copy of the top 10 mistakes of new entrepreneurs and how to prevent them, click below for details on how to get that.